the core of Antumbra are essentially desk calendars that kept time with Nelson Mandela for 13 of the 28 years that he spent in prison. What one sees as one walks into the work are essentially these 6 numbers that subtract down to the number of years that he spent in prison, his age when he entered prison, and his age when he left prison. Thus, through a few numbers, a numerical autobiography emerges in his own writing that kind of leads into the work, which once again becomes like an endless flow of numbers. And these numbers are essentially dates running between 1976 to 1989. And what one finds in these calendars are essentially another set of numbers that keep coming back in the form of his own notes of his blood pressure records, which become a kind of cardiac time, intervening again and again into this kind of calendrical time, almost as if the body sort of announces itself within this sort of what one might say is a kind of entrapment of time of an empty calendar, a time in which there are no notes to make, in the absence of an itinerary in a prison, there is almost nothing to write. So pages go by with no notes, and occasionally one finds an inscription of the last night's dream or the occasional visit by a loved one. And it also sort of sometimes misses to register key events such as the Soweto uprising or other events that were extremely fundamental to the movement appear weeks after they've occurred, almost talking to the kind of time lag that may have occurred as information perhaps did not appear in the prison cell or perhaps were censored and never written. At other times one finds detailed notations of, let's say, the 1918 Indian election, where the vote share of various political parties find mention, So these calendars become at some ways a kind of a carrier of inner voices from dreams, but also inner voices from heartbeats, but also perhaps a sort of pulsations in a nation's turbulent history, but also distant signals, all sort of becoming a kind of complex matrix of notes that run alongside extremely paradoxical images of beauty, images of South African outdoors, of great beaches and wildlife and cathedrals and architecture, with a note that says it's sunny today in South Africa or the land of the golden sunshine. And yet, one also knows that the absolute absence of sunshine is what these calendars saw inside the prison cell. And yet, the abundance of sunshine or the excess of sunshine in the lime quarry is what led to almost a blinding of Nelson Mandela. So in a way, it's once again a kind of ironic, paradoxical image of the sun that plays again and again through the calendars in the form of a rising sun, a sun at noon, a setting sun, and a moon that keep coming back again and again and again. A form that actually also becomes a luminous can that almost drops down into infinity at the very sort of entrance of the work.